One more time.
Okay.
Got my own title. Hello, my name is Kevin Daniel. I work for the Office of Innovation and Economic Development. I am a workforce development project manager, and you're chilling with SacVibes.
Welcome to Sac Vibes. We are the community engagement team and we're here to educate, engage, and empower. I am your host for today, Danielle,
And I'm your co host, Lynette.
and we have Greg behind the board.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Yeah, so how are you doing today, Lynette?
I've survived council last night.
Yes.
So, council last night, the special presentation really honored Black History Month. And so, council member Rick Jennings honored, I believe, 39 organizations that held some kind of Black History Month celebration. And so that was super cool. But the real cool part was that the surprise where they were actually honoring him. So while he was honoring community and the council also honored him.
I did see the photos on Instagram, and so I thought that was a cool moment. I'm
It
glad
was-
that they got to recognize him as well.
It was really cool. And then I think the biggest highlight was that the general plan was adopted. And so the general plan is a guiding document that really guides investment in our communities. It guides where parks are not, where, how much housing are in different areas. And so this hasn't been updated in 10 years. This guiding document goes all the way until 2040. And so periodically they have to update it because populations change, things change. And so staff have been working diligently in collaboration with community over the last couple of years. And finally, all of their hard work paid off, and it was adopted last night. So that was like a huge achievement. So super excited about
I saw
that.
some snippets from the recording. There were a lot of people who showed up yesterday to, speak what they thought about the plan. And I think that's great, Just like we've told y'all before, y'all should go to council because that is the best way for you to get your voice heard. And a lot of people came.
And the cutest part of council, the beginning, was the cute Girl Scout kids that led us in our land acknowledgement and also our Pledge of Allegiance. So it was just, I've never heard the Pledge of Allegiance and the land acknowledgement in those cute little voices before. And so that was probably another highlight, just seeing them. And then also seeing council member Kaplan's kids at the dais.
Yes.
They were actually sitting up there. And so super cool to see that as well.
But that's good to hear. And I'm wondering, Greg, how's your day so far?
Not too bad. Oh, my microphone's not on. There you are. Can you hear me now?
We
Well,
can
you can't
hear
me anyway
you.
'cause
I
don't
think
have
so.
headphones.
So what's
I
been
can
going
hear
on?
me.
What's been going on, Greg?
What's been going on? I've been uploading stuff to YouTube, getting this stuff ready, doing a lot of social media. I can't think of anything right now.
How are the kids?
Oh, they're good. We're having a lot of illnesses at the house right now, so
Ooh, we'll keep the
I'm-
cooties over there.
I'm in this little box with my cooties.
Yeah. It's going around.
Yeah. But yeah, I've been sleeping in the guest room, which is also my office. So
Okay.
I'm tired of that little space. Otherwise, everything's good. But
That's
busy.
great.
And how are things with you?
I am doing well. I had a later start today because I had a doctor's appointment.
Okay.
So yeah, everyone make sure you schedule your annuals.
Well, you look fabulous. You're very stylish.
Thank
today.
you.
I guess you get stylish to go to the doctor.
Oh no. So
No.
I went in comfortable clothing in the morning and then I changed and then came to work. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how in depth to go about that, but
We're not going to do
Yeah.
the HIPAA.
Never
We're not
mind.
going to go into
Okay,
depth.
yeah. There's actually one more person I want to ask about their day, but I think we should introduce her first. So I'm super excited to have introduce y'all to our newest guest today, Amy. Why don't you come on down? Woo. Clap track. Yes, speaker. Hello, Amy. It's so
Hey,
nice to
Danielle.
see you.
Hey, Lynette.
Hey, how's your day?
Pretty good today. Yeah, it's sunny. I went for a walk and got some food before we started this. I think it's supposed to get rainy again, though, so I was enjoying the sun for today while we have it.
Okay, where did you get food?
I went to Tony's Deli. They make
Okay.
really good sandwiches over
Okay.
on 12th and J.
I've been meaning to
That's a
try
small
that
business.
place.
Yes.
Support small business.
There's always a long line there.
Okay.
Yeah, so
That's
get
good.
there early.
Is it good?
It is, yeah. They've got a huge variety of sandwiches that they make over there.
I feel like you might have recommended that spot to
Yeah.
me before. So.
It is good. There's
Okay.
there's chips, candy, drinks, sandwiches, all the lunch basics.
Oh, thank you for the lunch advice. But y'all see, Amy has a lot more than just lunch advice. And so that's why we wanted to have her on today. Amy, would you like to talk a little bit about, your role here at the city, the program that you run, and all that fun stuff?
Sure. So I am the financial empowerment manager here at the city of Sacramento. I've been with the city for about 4.5 years. And the initiatives that I get to manage here are really in keeping with the things that I've been passionate about my whole career. I've been with the city for that amount of time, but my whole professional career has been here in the city of Sacramento. And primarily I worked for many years in the nonprofit sector. I worked for a few years at United Way before I came here to the city. I worked for lots of different affordable housing organizations, but always around this idea of increasing access to economic opportunity for all residents here in our city, in our county, in our region. So that's really what I'm passionate about.
It's great to hear.
So I'm curious, before you get into exactly what it is that you do, what is your background? What is your degree in? Just to get an idea, like, what do you need to do what you do?
Okay. Well, let's see. Let me think about how my degree is connected to all that. So I went to UC Davis. I'm from the East Coast originally, spent my teen years in San Diego. That's where I went to high school. And then I came up here to go to college at UC Davis.
Okay.
So I have an undergrad and master's degree from UC Davis Community Development.
Okay.
So that's an interdisciplinary social science major.
Okay.
I also did journalism for a little while. So sort of a little bit later, I ended up going to Berkeley to do a different master's in journalism, which I haven't really been using, but was really a cool experience to do. But so the tell me what the original question. I already lost
trying
track.
to figure out what your background.
Oh, yeah.
To see like
Oh.
if somebody wanted to be a financial empowerment
Actually-
manager, what do you need to know?
Yes. Okay, I'm back on track. So I think what happened was when I was early in my career and I was doing journalism, I was writing about people who were doing work in the community to help expand economic opportunity, and it kind of put a bug in me to learn how to do that more directly. So I ended up doing a year as an AmeriCorps Vista volunteer here in Sacramento in the late 90s. Yeah. We can talk about that.
Yes,
That's a whole other show.
Yeah, the whole other episode.
Yeah, good old days.
But I always recommend that program to young folks who are looking to explore this type of work. But that's how I got into it. So I spent a year at a local affordable housing organization as a Vista volunteer. I was able to get hired there to run this program where people were saving for home ownership, business development, or going back to school. And then we had money to match their savings toward those goals. And then we did financial workshops that I taught. I taught them in English, and then we also had some contractors who taught them in other languages where we talked about budgeting, credit, all that good stuff. So that was my first opportunity. I did that for about 6 years, and that's kind of how I got into this work. And for me, it was really gratifying because I grew up in a family that, I had very loving parents. They did struggle financially. And that caused a lot of stress in our household. And so I was always, even though I was sort of studying other things in my academic career, I always had this desire to learn how to do money better so that I wouldn't end up in these stressful
I
situations.
love that. How to do money better. I
Yeah.
want to do money.
Yeah.
But yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so I was really lucky to have that opportunity early in my career to do that, to run that kind of program. Learned a ton myself while I was helping others learn about this topic as well. So that's how I got into it initially.
So now, what do you do for the city?
Sure. So the core program that I manage and the one that I came on board a few years ago to start is called the Financial Empowerment Center.
Okay.
So that is a free public service that we have through the city of Sacramento.
Free.
Yes,
Okay.
FREE in capital letters.
capital.
Free 99.
Yes.
I like to say.
Not even free 99, just
Just
free
free.
00.
Okay.
No hidden fees. It's a free public service that we offer through the city. It's part actually of a national network of these financial empowerment centers that are available all over the country. There's over 30 of them now. that provide free one-on-one personalized professional financial coaching to local residents. So this is
That was key, professional, because you got friends and family. They think they know everything, and
Exactly.
they can tell you these are professional
Yes.
people. Okay.
all of our we have a team of 4 coaches, and all of our coaches have to go through really extensive training, not just in financial content, and most of them come in having some experience in that area, but they still have to go through this training, financial content, and then also coaching skills, because of course it's not just knowing how to help people reach their financial goals. It's also like being a good accountability partner and helping people develop plans, and then checking in with them about those things and supporting them over a period of time. So all of them had to do that training and then actually take and pass an exam before they work with folks in the community.
So, Amy, you talked a little bit about kind of a lot of your passion came from how you were raised and the struggles that your family had. So, and you and I have talked about, we talk about stereotypes. You are a Jewish woman and some of the stereotypes that are associated. And you're like, my parents were terrible with money. Did they own a home? Can you talk a little bit more about?
Sure. Well, I always want to reiterate and start from a place of that they were very loving parents. I always hate to give them a hard time about this, but it is what it is, right? So, yeah. So they, neither of my parents graduated from college. They had good jobs, but they didn't make a huge amount of money, and they sort of came up in the generation where there started to be easy access to credit, and so they got kind of rolled into that trap of like using credit to sort of live beyond your means. And so when I was growing up, I thought we were doing okay, but I learned sort of as I got older and more into high school that they really were struggling with a lot of debt, and this caused a lot of stress in our household. And then as I was finishing high school, I really wanted to help them, like, because I saw these struggles, and so we kind of got into some situations where like I helped them with some credit stuff, and I don't think any of us, and this was not their intent, really understood like what the impact would then be on my credit later in life. And so I didn't learn that until years later when I was trying to do other things, and it all worked out fine. I figured it out, and I was still able to do things like I was able to purchase a home. So I've done that now. But it was
sure
really
your dad is
difficult.
proud.
Oh yeah, definitely. He is.
So
And they were very supportive in other ways. So I don't want to give them too hard a time. But it was all of these experiences kind of motivated me to learn more about finances. And so I was really lucky to end up having the opportunity to do this kind of work where I was learning about finances, but also helping other folks who struggle with these issues in the community as well. So I'm really grateful for that.
And so for me, hearing your story, mine was so different. It's like I grew up with parents who, my grandparents, my grandfather had a 9th grade education, my grandmother 11th grade education, born and raised in Mississippi in 1920, 1922. Both were homeowners. So my grandfather owned 3 properties here in Sacramento. My parents, both college graduates, always instilled in me the importance of having property. And I was telling someone earlier, like, my mother and my father never had a new car. My mom always said, don't have a car note, have a rental property, right? If you can afford a car note, you can afford a rental property. And so I'm the same way. Like, I've never had a new car. And so it's interesting just to hear how our backgrounds impact how we are as adults and what decisions we make. And I think I'm just very mindful of money. So I'm always trying to stretch a dollar as much as I can. And I'm always thinking, like, can I get a discount? I'm like the discount queen.
Yeah.
Are you a
Same thing
discount
with
person?
me. I'm hella discount. I'm kripot, which means cheap in Tagalog. And my parents, I thought we were poor growing up because we would go to Kmart and I'd get whatever I needed for school, but my mom, she would put her clothes on layaway, and I didn't really understand what that meant until later when I got older, and I realized, like, oh wow, they were sacrificing and saving. But at the time, I was like, oh, we can't afford nothing. I can't have no kind of fun in this family. But all of a sudden, we'd be going on vacation. Like, wait, I thought we didn't have any money, you know?
Priorities.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
no! You,
So I'm
you just
thankful.
reminded me of the first time that my parents brought us to Disney, and so if they see this, I love you, and I'm not saying this to like
We love that. We
diss
love our
what
parents.
happened, but I remember as a kid I was like, wow, Disney, and like I kind of had like that thought, like, oh, it's probably expensive. Years later, I learned that we were able to afford that vacation because they got a big discount. Refund on their taxes, but it was done incorrectly, so they got audited by the IRS
no.
after. So we did
Well, maybe
not
they need
have the money.
financial empowerment.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm happy to hear about like your background experiences and what brought you to the FEC. Just because, like, I think money is really hard.
Yeah.
For people who aren't raised around folks who already have that experience. Like, my parents were first-time homeowners in the U.S. Because they moved from the Philippines to the U.S. right before I was born. In fact, I probably would have been born in the Philippines, but my mom was pregnant, and like she specifically booked a flight to the U.S. to have me here. So all of that was just a new landscape for them, and I think, like, if they had been born here, if they had the experiences already of buying a house, establishing credit, then I feel like we would have had a lot less struggle. But, you know, it is what it is. You know, we are born in the circumstances that we are for a reason, and I'm happy that I did because I got to learn
Yeah.
many valuable lessons.
I think that struggle's important, though, you
Mhm.
know, because you appreciate what you have, you know.
These
So-
kids won't know anything about that. So when you
Right.
were talking about Kmart, and it just reminded me of childhood. Like if you wanted to, if you're on the playground, if you, oh, your mama shop at Kmart, it was like, ooh, we gonna
Hella
fight.
bad,
And
yeah.
I
And
didn't
now if
know
you say your
that.
mom shop at Walmart, it's like your mom's smart.
Right, right.
So-
Same thing with
Interesting.
thrift stores. I used to like hide my face when you go to the thrift stores.
and
No,
now it's
now
like
it's
it's vintage.
trendy.
It's
Yeah.
vintage.
Yeah.
My
Thrift-
kids want to go thrifting. It's a thing.
But
It's a
still
thing.
support local business.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
I remember there was one time I went to like a financial coach just because, you know, I got student loans. I also have credit card debt because I didn't learn about debt until it was too late. But anyway, I remember they were talking to me and they were like, oh yeah, I have kids your age. You already have, you know, 60,000 saved up. And I was like, okay, that's cool. But in my head, I think I was angry because I was like, I'm glad that your kids are in that position, but I didn't have parents who were financially literate and who could tell me that kind of advice to get me to that point. So I was just angry, and I'm glad
Yeah.
that you're offering advice that doesn't judge or, you know,
And I would say
things
that
like that.
even now, people who had parents that were financially, you know, literate, they probably still don't have 60,000. That's a lot.
I mean, shout out to parents because it's not like there's a place where you learn all this. You
Exactly.
Yeah.
don't necessarily learn it in school. So
They doing the best they can.
They're doing the best they
They're
can.
doing the best
right?
they can.
So
Yeah.
I see you, parents. Amy, what is something that the people watching can do? What's the next step to get involved with the FEC? Where people go?
Sure. So one thing that reminds me that I forgot to mention is that we have a lot of language capacity on our coaching team. So in addition to the coaching being available in English, we also have a Spanish speaker, and then we have another coach who speaks Dari, Farsi, and Urdu. So we have coaching directly available in all of those languages. So if you're interested, if this sounds like something that you're interested in, you would basically go to our website. And I think, Greg, you can kind of share that link. But it's cityofsacramento.org. Is it .org or .com now?
.org.
.org.
Or .gov.org.
Either one works.
Okay, we're going through a little bit of a website
Just go to
transition.
City of Sacramento and put in
Yes.
FEC.
FEC. It's whatever it is. It's /FEC.org or .gov.
Yeah.
And there you can see we have a phone number, we have an email where you can just write in or call in to request an appointment. We also have downloadable our flyer in several different languages, and on the flyer there's actually a QR code. So if you go to the link on the QR code, there you can actually make your own appointment directly. You don't have to wait for somebody to get back to you like you do with the email and the phone. We have names and bios and pictures of all of our coaches. So whoever you think would be the best coach match for you, you can pick that coach and actually look at their schedule and set up an appointment right there.
So, Amy, thank you so much for your time today. We learned a lot about the work that you do at the city. We learned a little bit about your background just personally, so we want to thank you.
Thank you.
We'll probably be coming back talking to you as some more initiatives come up. We'll have you back on. But we want to thank you for vibing with us.
Yeah, thanks, y'all. We hope you follow us on social media, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.